Hello guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I will explain the third chapter of 10th standard, that is life processes in living organism part 2. But first of all we have to know about what is the meaning of the chapter name. So our chapter name is life processes in living organism 2. So it's a sequel of chapter 2. So in the chapter we are gonna know more about life processes which are crucial for every living organisms. So in previous chapter we studied about nutrition, respiration and so on. In this chapter we will study about reproduction. So why reproduction is one of the necessary process for living organisms? Because no such organism has immortality. Every living organism dies after a certain period of time. So to maintain the community of species throughout the era, reproduction is a key for it. So basically, reproduction means formation of new organism of same species with the help of existing species. Means parent reproduce to form new offspring. It also helps for evolution of each species. Now, we will study the two main methods of reproduction, that is, asexual and sexual method of reproduction. First of all, what is asexual reproduction? It means formation of new organism by same species but without gamete fusion is known as asexual reproduction. That means parents will reproduce offspring without any type of partner, without the need of partner. Hence, it is also known as mitotic cell division process. The benefit of asexual reproduction that it will occur faster than sexual reproduction. Now, we have two types of asexual reproduction with respect to the body of an organism, which is asexual reproduction in unicellular organism and asexual reproduction in multicellular organism. In asexual reproduction in unicellular organism, we have three subtypes, that is binary fission, multiple fission and the last one is budding. Let's study about binary fission. As you know, unicellular organisms are single cell organisms, but they also have different types of mode. Binary fission occurs either by mitosis or amitosis. In binary fission, the parent cell divides to form two similar daughter cells. Now, we have a little confusion, that is, why do we call parent cell as mother and offspring as daughter cell? Yeah, the reason for this is the female partners are responsible for reproduction. So we call parent cell as mother cell. And if we consider reproduction as a continuing process, so we call the daughter cells to new reproduced cells. Okay. Now we have three types of binary fission. So the first one is simple binary fission. As you see on the diagram, this type of binary fission occurs in amoeba. In this fission, the parent cell of amoeba is randomly divides and forms two daughter cells because it itself never shows any shape. Okay. The next one is transverse binary fission. It is generally shown by paramecium. Paramecium is an organism which shows slipper type shape, means चप्पल के shape का होता है. Okay. In this binary fission, the paramecium divides transversely to form two daughter cells. That means it divides horizontally. Okay. Now in Euglena, as you saw in this diagram, Euglena shows longitudinal binary fission because it divides longitudinally. That means it divides vertically to form two daughter Euglena. Okay. So we have studied all types of binary fission, but it only occurs when the organism have favorable condition. That means they have enough food, or we can say that abundant food material to reproduce. Now we have multiple fission. Multiple fission is generally occur in amoeba and some similar protista from protista kingdom. So let's say in amoeba, when amoeba stops the formation of pseudopodia, means it it stops forming fake or false locomotion and unable to gather food if it has adverse condition. मतलब जब उसे ऐसा कंडीशन मिले जहाँ उसे खाना ना मिला या फिर खाने की कमी हो, then it become circular and form protective covering around its plasma membrane. So you saw in the diagram this encysted or protective covering of amoeba are called as cyst. In that cyst, many nuclei are formed by continuously nuclear division. In that cyst, along with cytoplasmic division, as we learned in mitosis, so it formed amoebulae, that is, many daughter amoeba in that cyst until the end of adverse condition. So after it gets favorable condition, it breaks and many amoebulae will release. Okay. Now let's look upon the budding. So budding is in unicellular organism as well as in multicellular organism. So first of all, we are looking for the unicellular organism budding. Budding occurs in yeast in unicellular organism. So yeast is a unicellular fungus. So yeast produces two daughter nuclei by mitotic division and formed a bulb shape on its parent cells. After fully growth, it separates from parent cells and leaves as a new cell. It divides like we are walking a stair step by step. Okay. Now we have understood about asexual reproduction in unicellular organism. Now we will study asexual reproduction in multicellular organism. In multicellular organisms, asexual reproduction is of five types. That is fragmentation, regeneration, budding. Yeah, it also occurs in multicellular organism. Vegetative propagation and spore formation. Let's start with fragmentation. So, in this type of reproduction, the body of parent organism breaks it into many fragments, or we can say as parts, and each fragments or each parts starts to live as new organism. It is generally found in algae like Spirogyra and sponges like Cycon, etc. So, in Spirogyra, if it has plenty of water and nutrients, then it breaks it into many parts. Then each part will live as independently in Spirogyra. And in Cycon, when it breaks accidentally, or we can say that we can say as it breaks accidentally into many fragments, then each fragments will develop and lives as a new cycle. Now let's talk about regeneration. You have seen a lizard in your home, and did you notice that if it's the tail of lizard cuts off with any reason, it regrows, or we can say that it gets regenerated itself after some period of time. But it will occur only in tail section of lizard, so we call it as limited regeneration. But an animal called planaria that is shown on your diagram, it regenerates its entire body after a period of time. In certain situation, planaria breaks it into two parts, and each part regenerate and live as a new planaria. Hence this is called as regeneration. It reminds me of Deadpool. Okay. Now we will study budding in multicellular organism. In Hydra, under favorable condition, a specific part of Hydra outgrowth, that is, grow bigger but repeated division by repeated division of regenerated cell. This outgrowth called as bud. Buds will grow up and form new hydra. After fully grown, it separates and lives independently. Now, let's jump into the vegetative propagation. The word vegetative propagation means to reproduce naturally. So, the reproduction in plants with the help of vegetative parts like roots, stem, leaves, and bud, etc. So, it is known as vegetative reproduction. Okay. Now, vegetative reproduction or propagation occurs in the eye of potato. As an example, you can see small pores in potato. It is known as eye of potato. Okay. Then in some plants like any of plants, leaf shows propagating vegetatively as shown in the diagram. Okay. The last part of our topic is spore formation. Okay. It is one of the famous topic in biology that you will study again and again in your higher class. So, in pteridophyta and fungus like mucor shows spore formation. Let's take an example of mucor. It has filamentous body, means filament type, as you can see in the diagram. They have sporangia that forms spores, and spore burst out from sporangia and release outside. Released spores germinate in moist and warm places and form new colony of fungus. A common example is of bread. When it's placed outside for several days, it gets exposed full of fungus. You can see the colony of fungus on bread in the diagram. It is also found by spore formation. So that's it for today, guys. In the next video, we will understand about sexual reproduction. So if you like this video, then please like this video and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. See you guys in the next video.